let's talk about sideburns if you have a short buzz cut. I made a video 2 days ago when I was clean shaving my face, and I decided to leave the sideburns, acknowledging that comparatively speaking, when I have more of a beard scruff, closer to a week or two beard, and then I have the zero guard, I think a lot of people recognize that's the best look. Most people on this channel tend to say that's the best look. Of all the different variations, with hair, without hair, whatever it is. And I made a video, I'd never done one before, I never was on camera, with having long sideburns and short hair. Because now I'm closer to like a number 2 at this point. But I just want to talk about that. I imagined that most people would say the sideburns look awful and I need to shorten them up, make it more of the standard. What's funny is I've always liked sideburns. And it probably goes back to one of my favorite movies in high school, That Thing You Do. I love the soundtrack, I love the music, I love that movie, always have, That Thing You Do. And the lead singer of the band in that movie, I don't know, he had sideburns, and I just thought, with me also having dark hair, I thought, I like sideburns. I don't know. There was the opposite of that, and that's like Danny Tanner, from Full House at the time, which is now on Full House. But this concept of no sideburns, no. Sideburns have just always been a part of my identity, having those long sideburns. Of course, I grew up, I was in high school in the late 90s, and that was part of that trend too, is having the longer sideburns. So it's funny, in a couple months I've been buzzing off my hair, I haven't really committed to the sideburns, mainly because, and after I do this video, I'm going to make another video where I again buzz it off. And what I've been doing is the zero guard buzz cut and just blending it into the stubble, which is pretty much kind of all the same. So there's not really a need for sideburns. But I'm not opposed to doing that more often, where if I'm clean shaven, just go ahead and try out the sideburns. I didn't know I'd be as well received as it was. But even though we all agreed the beard scruff is better, but if I'm gonna have a clean shaven face, the longer sideburns helps give it the edge. And Maxwell Smart, who is a barber, a professional barber who knows what looks good, he actually endorsed the sideburns. And then someone else, I think Devilman is the name, who is also, judging on the thumbnail, is a clean shaven guy with a beard, but it looks like also endorsed that. So I'm like, okay, so I could get away with the sideburns. I like the sideburns. I think it, and like Max said, it gives it that edge. So I just want to take a moment to talk about that. As far as, and I'm sure I have before, but having that edge, I think that when you have your hair this short or shorter, you want to make sure you have some kind of edge to go along with it. People have said that if you just go around wearing a t-shirt and a clean shaven, it almost looks like you're like a thug, or like you, something like that, or you a criminal or something like that. And like, well, I think definitely there's ways to really pull off this in a better way. And I think Maxwell Smart, I said it before, to be in the proper weight. If you're like me, you're in the perfect BMI. I'm 165 pounds, I'm a 5'9". I'm in the perfect BMI, I'm not overweight or underweight. That definitely helps things. And whether you're gonna have a beard or scruff, or even these sideburns, now we're including that in the canon of having that edge. Also, sunglasses are definitely a good way to kind of pull off that edge too. Of course, I'm indoors and I'm not needing sunglasses right now. But there's lots of different things on there. But what we've established, to my surprise, and that's why I'm making this video, to my surprise, the sideburns are approved. They're approved for an edge for having very short hair. And of course, with it being a week since I've buzzed off my hair to zero, it's long enough to even really see them. So that's why this hasn't really come up very often. But now I know that because I'm Nick Shell, I do whatever I want to do, but as I feel like it with the buzz cut, as I decide to have a clean shaven face, which you may see more of that in the near future, even though I know it doesn't look as good as a beard. And I think what Max said is, buzz cut with long sideburns, clean shaven face, that's more like a B+. A+ would be more of the beard with the shorter. And I would agree, but and it's a reminder to us all. My goal is not to always be the best looking version of myself at all time. I think you can kind of get in that range of what's, just like with the BMI, you You can have a range of what's going to look good, and be okay with that. Ultimately, though, we're not being judged on our looks. We're being judged on our confidence level, our kindness level, our teachability, so many other things. And the whole looks thing just maybe helps tie it together. But even then, the whole ethos, something like that. The whole point is you want to become the best looking version of yourself that you can based on what you've got without going to extremes. That's the Nick Shell way. That's why if you need a hair transplant, go for it. But Nick Shell, even if I'm a perfect candidate for one, I have no interest in that, because to me that's an extreme thing. I don't need to go through extremes. I just want to work with what I've got. I want to be natural and keep things low maintenance and cheap and easy. Remember, Nick Shell says it's not worth my time, my money, my emotions to go through such extremes. That's not part of, I want to be low maintenance. And hey, if I can buzz off my hair and pull off some sideburns when I don't feel like having a beard, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I feel that I've learned something in the process of making that last video is, okay, you know what, for those guys of you out there who have a receding hairline and maybe can't grow much of a beard or for whatever reasons don't want to, now we've all learned it's about having these long sideburns. And for me personally, they're not all the way down to my earlobe. They're really close. I guess they're more down to this part of my ear, which when I have sideburns, that's how I like to do it. I think more of the standard is something like that, or that, but what I really like is that. And what I'd often do before is basically not shave for a week, and then just do it there again. I mean, that's what I like if I'm gonna have sideburns. But again, I'm about to shave this all off and blend it into this stubble. I hope you learned something. I've definitely learned something. I'm Nick Shell. Thank you for being here.